What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Bulls Latest. I'm your host, Matt Johnson here. I want to thank Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this video. Before we get into things today, I want to encourage everybody to hit that QR code up top there to join Underdog Fantasy today, guys. Take advantage of getting $75 in bonus entries after playing your first $5 today. All you got to do is scan that QR code to get started today and join all of the great NBA action that we have for you guys on Underdog Fantasy. Scan the QR code and get started today, guys. Jumping right into things today, I want to preview the Bulls matchup against the Indiana Pacers. They will go to Indy on Wednesday night to take on a team who struggled mightily this season with all the injuries after making that NBA Finals run just a year ago, months ago, honestly. I just think when you look at this Bulls team, they should be able to take care of a Pacers program that's lost 4 of their last 5 games. They're just 11-36 on the season. It is crazy to think when you take a step back and look at that Pacers team as a whole, how drastically things have changed due to injury in just the past year. They had a marquee NBA Finals run just a year ago. They were one of the most exciting teams in NBA history last year. Wednesday night, though, is a good opportunity for the Chicago Bulls to go and get one on the road as a slight favorite. We'll get into the betting preview in a minute here. But the Bulls are in a bit of a crazy stretch, and that is due to that makeup game. The Bulls will play 4 games in 5 days and 3 straight against the Miami Heat after this Pacers contest due to that makeup of the January 8th game that got canceled due to that condensation that was built up on the United Center floor. Kind of a very bizarre thing there for the Chicago Bulls, but they will see something that you almost never see in an NBA regular season. That's playing a team 3 straight times. But anyway, Bulls-Pacers, that'll tip at 6 p.m. Central. You can catch that on CHSN. That's live from Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indy. An exciting contest for the Chicago Bulls looking to get back on track after a tough home loss to the Los Angeles Lakers. Let's jump into the betting preview, guys. Looking at this one, the Bulls are a slight 2.5-point road favorite. Not surprised there with the struggles that Indiana's had all year long. I also am not surprised that the line isn't too steep, given the Bulls are likely to be in a bit of a dogfight here. I think that when you look at this game, I kind of shy away from a side here. I think that the best play here, and the total sitting at 235.5. If you're looking to play a side, I'd go Bulls money line. I just think with everything the Bulls have going for them in terms of being healthy and coming off that contest, I think they should be able to go into Gainbridge Fieldhouse and grab a narrow victory. But my stronger side is the over 235.5 on the total. I think both teams like to push the pace. Both teams like to score the basketball. When you look at Indy this year, they still can put up numbers in terms of scoring. I think that this will result in a higher scoring affair, blowing this total out of the water, frankly. I think this goes well over 235.5. So play the total there and the over. I think that is your strongest play, guys. I just think looking at this game from afar, it's a tough game to decide who wins the contest. I think that Indy could very well snag a home victory over the Chicago Bulls in this one. This is the way things are kind of lining up, but I think the Bulls have the talent and the health. They're relatively healthy again, so they should be able to pull this one out, but play the total, guys. Take the over there. Jumping into the underdog segment today, guys, I wanted to stick with that Bulls-Pacers game I'll get into in a second. Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties are back, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action, guys. Playing an Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, and more. Get your picks right and win up to 5,000 times your cash, guys. This week on Underdog Fantasy, I am sticking with that Bulls-Pacers matchup, and I'm selecting Nikola Vucevic higher than 16.5 points, and I'm going to go Benedict Mathurin lower than 15.5 points. I think Vooch is going to be an integral part of what the Bulls are going to have to do to win this ball game. I think you're going to see the Bulls feed him in a contest where he should be able to take advantage of multiple matchups. Benedict Mathurin, I don't see him. I mean, I see Pascal Siakam getting more involved in the score sheet, as well as Nembhard there. So I think Benedict Mathurin has a good shot to go under. He has a lot of splash games, but I'm going to go lower than his 15.5 points. I think the Bulls can contain him in this matchup here on Wednesday night in Indy there, guys.
Must be 18 plus. 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska. 19 plus in Colorado for some games. 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. And present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/play and get terms DFSTML for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 helpline at 1-878 or text HOMI 467-369.
All right, guys, jumping back into things here, I wanted to switch gears and talk about a report that came out over the last 24 hours, and it's not one that's going to make Bulls fans happy whatsoever. But according to multiple reports, actually, the Bulls are looking to improve their playoff chances this season. The Bulls will be looking to improve postseason chances this season while adding young athletic players to complement its core duo of Josh Giddey and Matas Buzelis, according to NBA executives out there. The Bulls will be looking to add, which the reality is we've heard it all leading up to the February 5th deadline here. We've heard that they want to be sellers. Now we're hearing they want to be buyers. Nobody ever really knows what Arturas Karnisovas wants to do with this team. We've seen this for years, guys, and this is dating back to when I very first started this show in May. I talked about the ongoing frustration as a Bulls fan, just kind of looking at, this team from afar, and they should be sellers, guys. This should be a team that is allocating and selling off these assets that they have in order to build for the future and to stockpile assets moving forward. Instead, you get reports like this that it does not make sense. It leads you to kind of a head-scratching reality. When you look at this Bulls organization at the moment, guys, they're not contending for a title out of the Eastern Conference. The reality is this is a team it's been playing bound for years now since this format rolled out, and I just don't know if they have enough there to make a push. And for the Bulls to come out and for reports to say that they're looking to build around Giddey and Matas with other talent, I just don't know what you're going to go and get that's going to drastically change this team's fortune ahead of that February 5th deadline, guys. Now, they could still buy while moving a guy like Coby White. Now, I'll get into that in a little bit here to wrap up the show today, guys. But, the fact that the Bulls are being labeled as wanted to be, buyers as we move towards that February 5th deadline is nuts. I think that, when you look at the entirety of what they're going to have to do going forward to make a true push in the Eastern Conference, I don't think there's enough there unless they go out and get a guy like Zion Williamson, but God knows what that's going to take in terms of assets going the other way. But buckle up, guys. I mean, this report stating that the Bulls are looking to improve their playoff chances means that they could very well look to be buyers here in a trade season that I think makes total sense for them to sell and to kind of, get off of some of those assets and to get some value out of guys that are having good seasons. But nonetheless, kind of wrapping up the show today, guys, Coby White continues to draw interest. The two main teams that are interested in him at the moment, the Minnesota Timberwolves, obviously an organization that I've really profiled in terms of being in on Coby White for months now. I think that they make a lot of sense in adding a guy like Coby White to play alongside Anthony Edwards. That's a team who's looking to make a championship push, guys. And they've been on the doorstep the last couple of years, just haven't been able to get over the hump and into the NBA Finals. I think adding a guy like Coby White to that organization alongside Ant is going to be what they need in terms of kind of bolstering their chances there. Minnesota, is a team that's right there. They're right on the cusp of greatness there. I think that they obviously are going up against that gauntlet of what the Western Conference is. So looking to add as much talent as possible makes sense for them there. I just think as a potential destination for Coby, it makes a ton of sense because he gets to go and try and win now. Coby White is not going to want to go to an organization if he's going to leave Chicago that does not have a good, legitimate shot to win. I think that is one thing for certain there. Houston, on the other hand, that's a team that seems to be more of a wild card for Coby White. Obviously, Fred VanVleet's fortunes going the way that they have this year, it makes total sense that the Houston Rockets are going to be in the market to add an impact player at that guard position. The championship window for the Houston Rockets is now, guys, and this is a team who I gave you guys 2 teams this year to represent the Eastern and Western Conference in the NBA Finals. I had the Orlando Magic out of the East, and I had the Rockets out of the West. I still stick with the Rockets out of the Western Conference. I mean, Kevin Durant's playing some of the best basketball at age 37 that we've ever seen out of him, and at 28-16 right now, they're sitting 4th in a stacked Western Conference. Just a game and a half out of that 3rd spot there. A lot of basketball to be played. Look for Houston to make a move or two to bolster their chances. Could it be Coby White? We'll have to see. I'm not necessarily sure what they could give in return to the Chicago Bulls. But for the Bulls, it's more likely, again, that they trade Coby White than Ayo Dosunmu before the deadline. I don't think Ayo is a guy the Bulls are wanting to move unless they get an offer they can't refuse and say no to. They're strongly considering signing Ayo Dosunmu to an extension this summer rather than trading him, according to multiple reports. And I kind of like that move. You guys know how big I am on Ayo Dosunmu and what he means to this organization and the value that he holds to this roster. He has really been a rock to this roster and to Billy Donovan in the way he kind of constructs his team and puts a lineup out on the floor every single night. So we'll see what happens here. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for joining me again on another episode of Bulls Latest. Again, scan that QR code at the top of the page, guys. Get in on all the good action on Underdog Fantasy today. Lots of great NBA games the rest of the week, and Wednesday night especially. Get your picks in for the Bulls-Pacers game. We have a great matchup in Indy if you're a Bulls fan there. Thanks again, guys, though. Your guys' support's been awesome. We will see you guys next time.